Hi all, so today we'll learn about DEX. The full form of DEX is Data Analysis Expression, wherein we are able to write an expression to perform any kind of complex calculation which can also help us to perform data modeling. So when we talk about expression to analyze the data, it means कि we are having certain formula, certain syntax using which we can write an entire expression which will be helping us to perform in-depth analysis of a data set which is given to us, and we have extracted that to Power BI. So we can also say that it's a very powerful formula language which is used in Power BI. And earlier we have seen that we have used a formula language in Excel also, and all these formula languages are basically help us to analyze the data with much more perfection and accuracy. When we talk about like expression to analyze the data, we have to understand that even in Excel we perform various kind of calculations, and the similar kind of list of you can say formula list is available in Microsoft documentation provided by Power BI. So when we talk about various kind of analysis of data, and for that writing an expression, we already know that we have learned in Excel text functions, aggregation functions, then we learned date and time functions, we learned financial function, we learned logical function. Much more than this, there are n number of functions which are available to perform data analysis, writing different kind of complex calculations. And those are like, apart from text functions are already over there, aggregation functions are there, financial functions are there, date and time functions are over there. Apart from this, there are time intelligence function also. So there are so many number of 480 plus functions are over there which you can use to perform calculations of any sort of, or of any complexity. So it is used to design to work also with relational data, and also perform dynamic aggregation, where you can see that on the basis of input different dynamic aggregation can be performed. So we also say that why this whenever the question arises why we need DEX in Power BI. So it is like to perform advanced calculation, we can go beyond simple aggregation functions, and we can also create certain number of measures which can be reused to perform different kind of computation. We can also filter the information, we can also create a interactive, you can say, um, visuals using these all text functions. It also perform efficiently, like you can say, optimization related solutions it gives whenever there are large amount of data set and we want to handle that data efficiently, we don't want to consume much time in calculations and all. So we can use DEX, so it will be going to optimize our performance. We can customize our report and dashboard because of the expressions we are using, or customize expressions, or you can say the complex expression we have written to perform computations efficiently and fastly. So that is why we use DEX. So when we talk about DEX, ki how to use DEX, so we should know that where we will be able to get the formula bar, because we have to write an expression or a formula or a DEX expression in the formula bar. We can get the formula bar from report view also after clicking on new measure, and also from data view as well as from report view. You know that there are three views: report view, table view as well as a model view. Apart from this, TMDL is over there, so which is a language, table language, which we will learn once we understand these all concepts. So in Excel we have used Power Pivot to create calculated column and measures, and similarly we will see that here also Power Pivot we have used over there to build a relational model, to build a data model, right, wherein I taught you how to create measures and how to create calculated column. Similarly, here also you will see that in table view also there is an option which is available to create a DEX function, in model view also as well as in report view. It is very similar to Excel. Only the thing is you have to be very carefully follow the syntax that how you will be writing the formula so that the output will be exactly what we are looking for, right. Here we have to understand that whenever we are creating a measure, there is a different kind of syntax. Like here I have written one example. Sum is a function, financial is a table, and revenue is a column, right. So here when we are using a aggregation function like sum, so as it is a function, definitely parenthesis will be coming. Here first of all table name will come, table name, and within that table name we are actually referring to whatever column we have to write that within box bracket. Whatever computation we are doing, it should happen on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we have to write the name of a measure in which this calculated value will be going to get stored. As it is a aggregated value, it is known as measure. So we will be doing these all things in detail also. So just a simple example to let you know how to use DEX, right. Now to move further on, the various ways or various DEX categories using which we can write an expression are majorly three will be doing, whereas when we talk about securities is row level security. So first is calculated column. We can calculate, we can have a new column in which depending on the number of rows we can have a calculated value for each and every row. This kind of computation is known as calculated column, which is a kind of DEX. Another is measure. As I have just shown you the example, it gives you a single value, single aggregated value, right. So that is a measure which can be reused also, and it store less space because it is a aggregated single value. It always get executed at the time of usage only, it never stores its value. It uh, always give the output whenever you will be using that particular measure. Third is your table. So you can have a new table also which you can create, so that you will be having in that table multiple columns, and each column can have n number of rows. So these are the majorly three ways to use DEX which will be learning today. And row level security is basically another way to use DEX, wherein you can implement data security depending upon the different user specific role you will be going to create. There also we use DEX function, right. So with this we will move further on. So we will be learning three DEX categories. Now see, first is calculated column. So what I said ki whenever I am talking about calculated column, so you should know that the column will be going to compute the value row wise. So it perform row wise calculation, calculation. As many number of like rows will be there, for each and every row it will be going to compute a value and will be going to create a new column get created over there, right. So how to create a new column we will understand. Few examples I have already given you in the class, that is like to create total sale. Let's say ki for each and every product a unit price is been given and total quantity of that product is been given. You want to understand that what is the total sale made for that particular product. So you will be going to multiply the unit price into quantity. But if there are 1560 rows, so it will be going to calculate for each and every row. So it perform row wise calculation. It stores the value in the table only. Whatever the table you are going to compute in that table, those all values will be going to get stored, right. And it automatically increase the size of a data also. It is calculated whenever we will be going to refresh the value. So one example is given over here. Let's say I am having a profit as well as revenue given in the entire table with respect to each and every individual entries. So if we want to create the profit margin, we have to write profit divided by revenue. So in this way it will be going to create the profit margin for each and every entry made over there. It can be used as a measure also, that I let you know later on. So with the help of example we will be learning this. Next is your, if we talk about measures, so measures always calculated at the query time. It never take less, never take more space. It will not be going to increase the size of our model. It is efficiently used for getting a aggregated single value. For example, here I have used sum function, and this sum function will be returning a single value. So financial is a table name and sales is a column name of that table. So what all entries are over there? Let's say there are 1560 entries with respect to sale. So it will be going to add up all those values and return a single value, store it in this particular variable, that is total sales, which is also known as measures. So we have to always give a name equals to then the functionality we want to perform or a expression we want to use over here with respect to the syntax to be followed for writing a DEX. So this is a measure. So measure is this. Now we will move further and we'll see what is table. So a calculated table is basically a table which actually stores in the data model and occupy the space also. It increases the size of a model also. It always get computed whenever we'll be going to refresh the data, not at the time of query. So here's a difference. What we learned that when we talk about calculated column, this calculated column also get computed while refreshing the data, while data refresh, and it increases also the size of data model. Similarly, when we are talking about calculated table, it also get computed at the time of data refresh and it increases the size of data model. Whereas when we talk about measures, so it get computed at the time of query. Whenever query time is over there, it get computed at that time. It never increase the size of data model. It never increase the size of data model. So here I am writing the abbreviation. CC is calculated column, CT is calculated table, M is measure, DR is data refresh, DM is data model. So it actually computed at the time of data refresh. Calculated table is also get computed at the time of data refresh, whereas measure get computed at the time of query. And calculated column as well as calculated table will be going to increase the size of data model, whereas measure never increases the size of data model. Now with this we'll move further and we'll see that when we talk about calculated table, it is also used to create relationship. Suppose there is one table missing which is having date and we have to perform a relationship between the your fact table and a calendar table, so or any other table. So you can create your own table and establish a relationship between those. So it is very useful while performing a data modeling and transformation of a data. So one is this is a very good example, commonly used example, that you can use calendar function as well as you can use calendar auto function. So whenever you have to create a calendar, why calendar is required? Let's say you are a company and the company established on certain date and you want to you are having the entries since that till today date, but you are not having a table which is actually mentioning all the dates, right? Because might be you have to perform calculation with respect to different dates. In the entry table or in the fact table, only those dates are lying in which a entry has been made, not other dates. So what you can do, you can have a separate calendar table which is having all the entries since the start of establishment of a date till today. So what you will do, you will be creating a table. How you can create a date table? Calendar is a function wherein you have to give the start date and the end date. How you will be going to give the start date and end date? Date is a function wherein you have to mention the year first, then month, then day, right? So here we are mentioning year, month, date, then again year, month, date. So this is from 1st January 2023 till 31st December 2025. So it will be having each and every date entry in the form of calendar, which can further can be modified or enlarged by adding date, month, year, day, weekday in that table only, using different function, date and time functions, like month is there, year is there, day is there, weekday is there. So those all functions can be used and will be going to extract the date from the column, which will be going to get created using this calendar table. To move further, we'll see that whenever we are actually using this, when we will be using this calendar table. So this calendar table will be using to create custom dimension tables, right? It will be used to combine multiple tables. This table, as I already explained you, will be going to create each and every date from 1st January 2023 to 31st December 2025. One another way to create a table is, let's say I am having, I don't know when the company has been established, but I am having certain entries in the fact table which is having order dates. Now I want to create a calendar. Since what date will be creating the table? Since the since the date when the first order is being placed till the date when last order is being placed. So how will be getting that date? I'm having order date column in a, let's say, sales table. So I'll say min function. What is the start date? Calendar function take two inputs. Calendar function takes two inputs. So first input is your start date and second is your end date. Start date and second argument is your end date. So what should be the start date? Start date should be the minimum date when the order is being placed. So for start date I have used this function. This is min. Min is a function, min, and within bracket I have to pass the argument. So what argument I am passing? Whatever the date this sales table is having, order date. So it will be picking the minimum order date, and then till what I have to create the calendar? Till the maximum. So similarly I can use max function. Min and max is a aggregation function which will be going to give me the single output. So minimum will be going to give me the start date of order and max will be going to give me the last order date, and between that whatever number of dates are coming, this calendar function will be owning those all, because I have used calendar function over here. So this is how you can also use your calendar function, right? Similarly, let's say there is another function known as calendar auto. So this calendar auto function automatically detects the data range from all the date column in the model. Only the thing is ki whatever the dates are over there in the data set, in the date column, it will be picking all the dates from there, and whatever the dates are coming in between, it will be going to pick all those dates also. Let's say we were talking about like the sales order date, so it will automatically be picking all the dates. I have to only pass one argument, and that is your fiscal year. So let's say I am passing 3 means March, right? So it will be going to assume that my financial year is going to end in March. So it will be automatically generating each and every date till the end of March of current year. So these are the two functions. What is the difference? Calendar will be going to manually have an input as in start date and end date. It is more controlled, you can say, functionality, and best for creating a professional report. Calendar auto is automatically picking the data range. It is easy and quick, just good for basic use. Sometimes it picks unwanted date range also if other date field exists. So this is the difference. So if you want to use professionally and much more accurate, go for calendar function. So these are all the various ways I just explained you. This is another way of using the calendar table. Here I am using minx and maxx function. So I am saying pick all sales. All sales means whatever the dates are there in the sales table, consider all, and which column you have to use? You have to use sales order date column. Again, all sales, here sales is the name of a table, comma, the column name of sales table. So this is how also you can use. This is another way, and another function that is min x and max x. Earlier we have used min and max, this is min x and max x. It is similar to sum product which you have learned in Excel. So, or min product or max product, so it is similar to that. This is another way to create a calendar table. What I am doing over here, you just look here carefully. Once I have created a calendar table, I want year, month number, month name, quarter. Means it, when you use calendar function, it will only create single column, that is date. That date can be any date depending upon the start date and end date, right? It can be start order date and end order date. I want to create, as it is a table, I want to create more columns into this. So how we can create more columns in this? I have created one variable and I am saying year from the date table date, right? Similarly for month number, these all are basically different columns, you can say, in the in the calendar table or in the date table which you have just created. So how to extract the year? I am saying year from the date of a date table, then month from the date of date table. This date table is a table you have just created and date is a column. From this column it will be going to extract year. This will be going, month function will be going to return the month number. Then if you want to know the month name, you have to use format function. You are giving 4m, so it will give you the complete month number, month name. Quarter will be going to extract the quarter. Year and month will be going to give you year in 4 digit and then month in 2 digit. Day will be returning day. If you want to know the weekday, you have to use format function. So you are passing date and the format you are using is 4 times d, as here you have used 4 times m and here you have used 4 times y. 4 times d will be going to return the full weekday name and 4 times m will be going to return the full month name. If you use 3 times m, it will be going to give you the 3 letters of a month like Jan, Feb and all. If you use 2, it will be going to return the number like 01, 02, 03. Same is the case of weekday. If you write 3D, it will be going to say month, tu, ved in this way. So this is how you can create multiple columns also in the calendar table you have just created. If you want to add now the column, you can add the column in the table like this also. This is another way. What you are saying, data table is the table, date table is the table which you have just created using calendar. You are adding column in this. How you are adding? Either you can create then and there the this date column also using calendar function, then year, month number, month name, quarter, year, month, day, weekday. So it will come, it will create then and there using calendar function and other function all the columns together related to the dates you have mentioned over there, right? So this is how also you can create. This is the another way, right? It entirely depends upon you how you want to create a calendar table and how many columns you want. These are few examples. Might be you only need year, month and day, so you can have 3 columns apart from this date column. So it entirely depends upon the usage, what kind of usage you are having to establish a data model and to further on use the expression to analyze the data or visuals to analyze the data. So this is about calendar, you can say function, or you can say this is about calculated table, how to use calculated table, which is one kind of DEX category to be used, DEX, right? So this is just for practice. I have mentioned that you can choose the date column and then you can perform calculation like total year to date, same period last year, date add, dates year to date. So there are so many number of date and time or time intelligence functions which you can use to practice and use the functionality or to perform data analysis or any kind of complex data analysis in a very easier way. With this, further on we move towards other functions which are available in DEX, which we will be using to perform or to have create calculated column and your measures. So if we talk about aggregation functions, what are different type of aggregation functions? These are few. sum, average, min, max, count, distinct count, and so on. There are so many number of logical functions also, like if, switch, and or are used to join multiple conditions. There is a filter function also. Filter will be going to give you the filtered value. All will be considering all value. Just now we have seen the all function. We have calculate function. Whenever we have to filter the information while performing the aggregation, we use calculated function. Whenever we have to consider the related column, so we use related function. Time intelligence functions, there are so ample of time intelligence functions which will be going to give you the exact accurate value within few seconds. That is total year to date, or month to date, or quarter to date, or same period last year, and dates in periods. There's so many number of time intelligence function. To perform text function, the various functions which are available are concatenate, left, right, mid, search, len. There are so many number of functions, right, which you can use over here whenever you are performing computation on text function. Mathematical functions are also over there, like round function, ceiling, floor, divide, multiply. Thus there are so many number of mathematical function also. It depends upon the utility. On the basis of that, you can use the function. There are 480 plus functions which are available. You have to look at the documentation which is provided by Microsoft. You have to simply write in Google Microsoft Dex function, so it will give you the very beautiful documentation which is having syntax also, which is having example also. Multiple examples are over there, and all the outputs which you will be getting out of those all examples. So you have to read. In class I have I just shown you that particular detail a number of times and shared the URL also. So to move further, we will see that how we will be writing DEX function for financial statement analysis, because I have already given you the financial data in which we were working. So if we talk about simple functions which you should use, so these are the measure. If you have to do the revenue analysis, so these are the various measures which you can create, like total revenue. How you will be creating? Sum function. Financial is the name of a data set, revenue is the name of a column. So once you write in this way, you will see that you will be having one single value which is being stored in a variable known as total revenue. In the Power BI, you can say data view, whenever you create a measure, you see a calculator over there, calculator symbol over there. So this kind of calculator symbol is small symbol appear in front of a measure you create. When you create a calculated column, you see the sigma function will be going to get appear over there in front of a calculated column. So you can just differentiate on the basis of symbol also, that what all is already been created. Now see, again this total revenue, you have created growth rate. How you will be going to know the growth rate? So this is just a simple example. You use this and directly you can implement it, because data set is already been given to you. Sum of financial revenue minus sum of financial revenue last year. So this you have to create first of all, same period last year. Then you will be able to get this value. Then you will be going to divide it with the sum of financial is the name of a table, revenue last year is a column name. It will be given over there. If it is not given, you can create a column also using time intelligence function. Similarly, how gross profit will be going to get calculated? So it is sum of revenue minus sum of cost of goods sales. So this you are creating here only, you can already create also and store it in the form of a measure. Similarly, if we talk about profit margin, so how the profit margin can be created? So it is, you have to divide profit by revenue. So if you have to go for profitability measures, so these are the measures which you have to create. To revenue analysis, these are the measures which you have to create, and these are not enough. This is just an example. It entirely depends upon your logical mindset, that what all calculation you can perform, or you need to perform a particular kind of analysis. If we talk about expense tracking, so total expenses you can create by adding all the operating expenses, which is the column given in financial, When we talk about expense ratio, again we can use divide function. You can divide the total operating expense by the total revenue generated by a company. So this is how you can create certain measures which are actually pertaining to financial statement analysis, which we're doing in the class. So here I have shown you everything which is related to the data set provided to you, which will help you to create a various statements. Now further on, if I move, so year to date function. So I have given you how to use year to date function over here, how to use quarter or over quarter growth, year over year growth. So these are certain functionalities which are provided to you. You can just practice and understand that how these all functions can be used, right? So if you go through one by one, so I have explained you since beginning on the basis of the data set. Like first of all, you have to create total for the period. FTP means for the period, right? This you will be using to perform various statement analysis, P&L calculation, balance sheet calculations. So when we are talking about PL and L related calculations of profit and loss statement, values should be calculated for the specific period, like sales in 2018, 2019. So you have to mention the specific period for that. So specific period, when you are mentioning, you have to use the filters and all while performing the calculations. Whereas when you are doing balance sheet related calculation, you should know the cumulative values. For example, assets in 2019 include values from 2018 as well as 2019. So entire values, like if you are talking about 2020, it means ki 2018, 19, 20, all the values which are available over there are to be summed up, right? So this is the difference. For PL calculation, it is for the period and it is for the entire period. So how we will be going to fetch the values for these all calculation, this we are going to see next. So here we are saying for the period. So this is total for the period. This formula will be going to sum up values in the amount column of the GL table. GL table is a general ledger table which is given to you. So this measure respect the filters applied in your visuals, example year or category filter, right? So you can use this in the matrix also and see what is the difference. If you have to create the gross profit, what you will do, you will use filter. So to use the filter, the function which we use is calculate. Calculate is a function which we use to filter. So when we say calculate, so there are minimum 2 arguments come, maximum n number of. So here you can use filter 1, filter 2 and so on. But here you have to use a aggregation function, out of which you will be filtering out the values and getting the output as a single aggregated value. So let's say I am saying ki total for the period, or you can say sum of the entire amount, sum of the within the, let's say, GL table, one column is given amount. So this is actually a sum function. Sum function is a parenthesis which we are closing over here. Sum function. So it's a total sum, but I only want to consider that sum which is related to trading account. So here I have to use filter. How I'll be using the filter? First of all, I'll be writing the name of a table. Let's say chart of account. Within this, I want to consider a column known as class, and which class I want to go for. So I'll close this bracket and say the class should be equals to trading account. Trading account. So here we are using a filter. So entire statement analysis you have to do by using filters also. So in doing the financial statement analysis, you will see that you are having 3 reports. One is adjusting, another is your this profit and loss, and one more report is over there, right? So 3 reports are over there. And if we talk about class, there are 7 classes are over there: trading account, operating account and on. Also depending upon the utility, depending upon the kind of calculation you are performing, whether it is related to profit and loss or it is related to cash inflow or it is related to balance sheet, you have to use filters, right? So I have already explained you how to use manual filter, but to reuse the value you have to use dex function. So this is how you have to use a filter using calculate function. I explained this in the class as well. So I hope you remember. Just I have shared this particular PPT with all of you. So you how to use this I want to explain you. So calculate function recalculate the expression with additional filters. So it is one of the most powerful dex function, right? So here again gross profit you can pick and drop in the matrix to see that how the values are being shown over there. Similarly, have to if you have to calculate net profit, so you have already calculated for the period. This is P not B, and from report you are fetching all those values which are related to profit and loss. So you will get net profit. There is a small correction, that is this is not B, this is P. We have just in the previous slide calculated total FTP, means for the period. Okay, so with this, to move further, net profit, then you have to calculate operating profit. For operating profit, the classes which will be considering will be trading account and operating account. So whatever is there, it will be picking all the values whenever it will find class as trading account or operating account. So here I have used or operator. This is or operator, right? In class I already explained you in function also. So you can use in this way or operator, either trading account or operating account. For and, this ampersand operator we use. For or, this your pipe symbol you use in two numbers, right? Twice you have to write down this or operator or and operator. So it will be going to filter. This is a filter. Calculate we are using to filter out the filter out the values, to consider all those amount only which are with respect to trading account entries or operating account entries. Similarly, like let's say you want to know the operating profit, right? So you have to subtract this gross profit with all the values which are related to operating account. So this is how you can get the operating expenses also, or operating profit calculation. So this is the second way. First is this, second is this. You can use any of the method you are comfortable with. EBITDA, if you have to calculate earning before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization. So three things are there: interest, then taxes, then your depreciation, and A stands for amortization. So you want to calculate the earning before these all things. So these all entries you can say. So for this what you will do, you will say gross profit, which you have already calculated, it is one of the measure, plus you will include all those entries which are with respect to operating expenses. So here you are using subclasses, because class consider everything, whereas subclass you are specifically mentioning that only consider operating expenses, don't consider these all and classes based entries. So it will remove those all entries. So this is how you can create EBITDA. Now similarly you have to create PBIT. So for PBIT, operating profit plus all the entries which are with respect to non-operating. So it will add all the entries of non operating income, or you can say it will subtract all the entries which are related to expenses. So this is how, these are the various ways. Then you can use these all like KPIs in the form of cards. So yesterday I have shown you a simple some functions like sum, max, min, average, count, but whereas you can use like if the data set is given with respect to certain computations, so you can use calculate also, but you have to use it very smartly. Don't use as it is ki you are not clear about the logic and you start using it. So these are the certain ways to use dex function, wherein we learned how to use calendar auto, and we learned how to use aggregation function, min and max also you learned. Then you learned like how to use calculate function. So at least, and for divide function, so you have to use 5 KPIs. Accordingly you can create the KPIs. It entirely depends upon the data set which will be provided to you. You have to remember few things only, that is, either you use some basic functions like sum, average, min, max, count, right? Then if you have to find out the margin and all, so you can use divide function. If you have to go for multiplication calculated column, you have to use multiply function. Multiply is one of the function. At least practice these all functions, right? Then you have to subtract also some value, you can use minus symbol like directly also. Then if you have to use filter, go for calculate, go for calculate, right? Go for calculate. See, you are a finance person, so you know ki what all formulas are required to be used to say the show the key performance indicators in the card. So you have to understand the data. On the basis of the data only you have to perform the calculation. So I don't know what kind of data set will be given to you. Only the thing is ki you are have to show 5 KPIs, and those all KPIs should not be same, and those KPIs should help you to design the visuals also. So you have to think smartly that what all KPIs you'll be using. If there is a text field and you want to show that how many total number of products are there, so you have to use distinct count in the text field. You want to show that what is the earliest date, then you can use directly the date function, and from there you can filter out and show that earliest date or latest date, or total number of entries, so count, total number of distinct entries, so distinct count, right? First city you are referring to, so the first name is over there, last name is over there. So there are so many number of functionalities which I have shown you. And if you're very good at that, so then you can say year to date, same period last year, how much sales are being done. So those kind of calculations also you can do. Don't forget to format. If it is a number, then you can format by 2 decimal. If it is a margin, then you have to show it in percentage, right? So then you have to format it as a percentage. So at least try this much, then I'll get back to you later on. I hope you understand. Visuals I already shown you yesterday that you can design 5 different visuals. Those can be, one can be a line chart, another can be a area chart, or it can be either column or bar chart. It can be column with line chart, or it can be a stacked column or side by side column with line chart. Then it can be a donut chart, it can be a ribbon chart, it can be a AI visuals like decomposition trees over there. Then there is key uh, key influencer trees over there. Then you can go for scatter chart, you can go for geographical map chart, you can use buttons, you can use conditional formatting in tables and all, you can use slicers, and you have to format it beautifully using a particular theme which is already available over there, or a same color scheme with a nice border and background color. So with this, all the best. I hope you will be able to do this. Thank you.